Hi everyone, this is Bella from Unlock Your Design. It's time for the Jinky horoscope for the weekend, January 14th and January 15th. We have the moon here in Libra in Jinky 57. That's the Jinky that codes for the collective core wound, the core wound of humanity, which is the shadow of unease and the fear of tomorrow. The moon here in Libra is seeking harmony and peace. I don't necessarily think that's what she's going to feel, especially not as she's moving into Scorpio. We are going to have her conjunct the SQ and the radiant sphere in the 32, which is the shadow of failure. And then she's coming into 50, which is the shadow of corruption, and also where the radiance is going to move on to. And that's where the Scorpio energy starts. The moon is in fall in Scorpio. That's going to be on Sunday. She's in fall in Scorpio because she's exalted in Taurus. She loves to be in Taurus because Taurus is stable and secure and nurturing. And Scorpio is the opposite. And she doesn't feel like her needs are met in Scorpio. However, a Scorpio moon is deep, intense, and definitely a time for emotional alchemy, for transformation, for shadow work. This weekend, we also have Venus communicating first with the moon. We see here that both Venus and the moon are in air signs. The 13 is the gate of the listener, and the 57 is also auditory. It hears everything, it's acoustic. So there is a resonance between the two planetary bodies. Venus is also communicating to Uranus and North Node. There's a bit of tension in this square. What Venus is asking for here in Aquarius is the way to move forward, and maybe something new in terms of direction, second Jinky direction. And then we have Uranus there, which is about the unexpected, the new ways, the quantum leaps. So conversations in relationships where there can be a new kind of listening. In the gate of the listener, potentially there can be some pessimism because there is a lot of insecurity about the future and where we're going, at least as a whole. The last thing here, we can already feel a little bit of that energy when the moon is going to be in Scorpio, and then we're going to have the sun conjunct Pluto. And that can be pretty intense and shaky energies. We'll speak more about that next week. This is the Jinky chart for Saturday. Here we have a 4-6 profile. The fourth line is the lover, and through doing what it loves is how it serves the world the best. In the evolution sphere, we say break out of anxiety by returning to your heart and realizing that your issues are tiny. When the fourth line is numb and in its head, it can't see or feel the proportions of what it's facing. So it's going to make the problems, the issues much bigger than what they are. But when it comes back to the heart, when it relaxes, when it breathes, that's when it realizes that the frustration or the anxiety is unnecessary. This is the last day. We have the 32 and the 42 in the radiance and the purpose. The 6th line is the role model that has integrated the previous lines. The 32 is also the SQ. Important here to not fall into the fears of failures or the fear of tomorrow. We are not going to have a lot of stability here. So it's important to not attach to an outcome that is what our mind wants. We need to be a bit flexible here in the coming weeks. We have Mars moving on in Gemini, so it's direct now, and it's also in the vocational core sphere. So there is going to be a lot of moving parts. When we look at the IQ and the attraction, we have programming partners or oppositions on the wheel here. The 7 is the leadership in Leo, and the 13 is the fellowship of man that we have in Aquarius. That's a harmonious communication that happens here on the pathway of karma. This is a Sunday chart, a 5-1 chart, a lot of leadership energy. We have a new cross. This is the cross of obscuration. So still the 61 and the 62 as the main archetypes, the mystic and the scientist. Here we have the maestro in the 50, and we have the eternal child in the 3. In human design, the 50 is the gate of values. We call it the cauldron as well. The preservation, which is achieved by the act of nurturing. You see, it's part of this tribal circuitry. The 3rd gate is the gate of ordering and difficult at the beginning. It's about when we make change or mutate, we must finish the change into a new form or structure. And that's connected to the 60 here, which is the harmonic gate. And this channel of mutation is going to be activated here for the next few days with a purpose in the 3 and Pluto being in the 60. That's a powerful energy that's going to be there at the same time as the sun is going to be conjunct Pluto. Like I said before, we have a lot of leadership energy. We also have a Leo attraction, which is about leadership. It's going to be important this day in the leadership, however, to not be attached to the outcome. With so many third lines, 5 third lines in the inner part of the chart is going to be unpredictable. Maybe even feel like we're stumbling a bit. The energy you want to tune into is dynamism, playfulness, experience. And whatever you're doing that day, do it wholeheartedly, no matter where it's going to end up, no matter the outcome. Before we end, if you haven't heard about the masterclass we're doing with Ashley on Tuesday, it's called The Setup, and we're going to create a roadmap for self-empowerment for the Aquarius season. So you're going to learn about the Aquarius energy, which is also connected to the 11th house and Uranus. If you're interested in that, it's $12, and I'm going to put the links below under the video. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you again on Monday. Bye for now.